welcome back. Hey, I just want to give some good verbal directions for this next assignment because it might be a little complicated, but ultimately, I'll tell you right now, all you're going to do is you are going to be learning about Nepal and Mount Everest, climbing Mount Everest, and some facts about Mount Everest, and then the group of local people that typically are paid as guides to take people to the summit of Mount Everest, and those are called the Sherpas. So you're going to learn about those things, and then ultimately you're going to produce a letter. You're just going to write a letter, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that information right now. As you can see in upcoming assignments, along with the spring conference assessment that's due tomorrow, you also have an assignment called A Piece of Nepal. There's an announcement right there in front of you, which I'm going to come back to in a second. First, let's scroll down, and I want you to take a look at this A Piece of Nepal assignment. So I've put in writing the instructions there for you, but ultimately what you're looking at is there are 3 links to articles plus a 4th link to a video. The first article there where it says avalanche kills 12 and single deadliest accident on Mount Everest, that first article also contains, I think there are 3 or 4, maybe even 5 very short, 1 to 2 minute little video clips. So there's some reading to do there and some video information. The next one, Mount Everest by the Numbers, is strictly some pretty astonishing facts on just some pretty amazing numbers just about Mount Everest there. The third one, who are Nepal's Sherpas, of course that's going to give you a little bit more detailed perspective on who in fact who are these Sherpas, what are they all about. And then the last one is a 5-minute video called Sherpas, the True Heroes of Mount Everest, but that video is really sort of a snippet of several different pieces of a movie, a full-length movie about the Sherpas, but I think you'll get the idea from it there. So doing the reading there and watching the little video clips, that's where you're going to gather your information about, again, Nepal and Everest and the Sherpas. That's where you're going to gather your information. You could go to other sites once you've kind of figured out the topic area here. You could go to other sites and gather information from other places. That's entirely up to you, and then potentially up to your partner or partners if you're working within a pair or a trio. So let's go back to the actual assignment itself and see what it is you've got to accomplish once you have all this information. Okay, scrolling back to the top, you can see the announcement, and I'm going to kind of talk to you about that. So essentially, again, work by yourself, work with a pair, a partner I should say, or work in a trio, and you're ultimately going to produce a letter. And let me kind of clarify that for you. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from a student perspective to go ahead and go in and create your own document. Okay, so here we are. I'm looking at a student point of view, so I've joined Mrs. Casey's practice class there, and see the trial assignment. Well, let's pretend that is our assignment about Nepal. So this is what I want you to do, whether you're working by yourself or with a partner or with a trio. If it's 2 or 3 people, then one person do this job. One person do this job. You are going to right away, so do this first, do this before you even read anything about the Nepalese climbers and the Sherpas. Do this right away. Please go ahead and click open on the assignment, and then you can see you've got a couple options there. You can always, I think Mrs. Casey pointed this out to you, you could add pieces to the assignment. You could add items that you've put together from Google Drive, or you could link things, or you can upload a file. What I want you to do for this though is go ahead and click create. So you're going to create a document, and it will name it for you. In this case, it's going to be called trial assignment because I'm in Miss Casey's class. In your case, it would be called Nepal with your name next to it. And then I want you to do all of your work on this new document that's created for you. If you're working with a partner or a trio, then right off the bat, you're going to go up and click share, and you're going to share that with the other 2 people. So that everyone has access to that document from the very first minute. Doing it this way too lets me take a look at your progress, so I can see how you're doing as like all day today and tonight and tomorrow while you're working on it. I can see who's on that document, I can see who's doing what, and I can offer you some help. So that's what it looks like from a student perspective. Again, take care of business. Okay, once you've created that document, you've got three paths that you could take in terms of what is that letter that you're going to write. And it's going to be a one-page letter. If you're working with three people, let's call it a page and a half because you got a little bit more time and effort there. So let's call that a page and a half if you're working with three people. So on the first opportunity, the first option there, you could write a letter as if you were the widow or the son or the daughter of a fallen Sherpa, and you're writing that letter to prospective climbers or future climbers, telling them what it means to be a Sherpa and what they all should know about your people before they take on this risky climb. Or you could write a letter to the family of a Sherpa after having learned of their story, maybe just kind of, I don't know, thanking them for their heroic efforts, just their either a specific client, a specific Sherpa, or just kind of the Sherpas in general and their culture. Just kind of just writing them a letter after you learn what they're all about. Your third option there is to write a letter to all future climbers, telling them the tale of the Sherpas and what these future climbers should consider about the Sherpas before taking on this great adventure of trying to climb Mount Everest. I guess it's possible too. You could wow me with some different type of letter of your choosing about this subject. If you want to go creative there, but again, sticking to the subject, you could figure out from what perspective you're going to write this letter and to who you're going to write that letter. That assignment is due by the end of your class hour tomorrow. So be diligent, be good workers, make good choices if you're going to work with a partner. Sometimes it's easier to work with a partner or a triple. Sometimes it makes it much more difficult. So be wise about that choice you're going to make. Here if you need to.